Good evening, campers, dreamers, and babysitters, and welcome to our trailer reaction of the new Hellraiser movie.
Oh
Yes,
man,
so
you're so
this
excited. Had you stumbling there for a second?
I know, I always want to go right into welcome to another edition of Splattercast. But no, we are talking Hellraiser 2022, coming straight to you on Hulu October
Yes,
7th.
can't
So
wait.
this is a big deal. We've been waiting for this for some time. And you know what's really funny about this is it actually didn't dawn on me until this morning. I was just kind of clicking through everything, watching the channel grow a little bit today because we've had a pretty productive day.
Right,
And
Jeepers Creepers.
yeah, no, right? Who would have thought? But I was just thinking, are we not getting a trailer for Hellraiser? Like, I'm cool with it if not, but if that teaser was all we were getting, I guess that's cool, but a little concerning because it's just kind of like that's a little weird. So
Yeah, we're only a couple weeks out right now, so
yeah, October 7th, so not far at all. And yeah, so I guess ask and you shall receive. I did a little reaction to this earlier in the day, thinking that the concept and everything is blood for blood or whatever, that I had to endure Jeepers Creepers Reborn in order to unlock the the excess and wonderfulness of the Hellraiser trailer.
the pain and pleasures, sir.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so I guess before we dive in and we all sit here and take a watch on this, Luke, so you've checked out the trailer. We both
I actually
have.
have not. I haven't even. I don't even know what Hellraiser is. I'm just here.
You're just hanging out. Okay. But what were your just initial thoughts? Because they got mine. So what were your thoughts first
Oh
checking this bad
man.
boy out?
Well, we've covered this to an extent on the Sunday Scaries already. We got the
Mhm.
stills. We've talked about some of the information that's been leaked, just the talent that is attached to this new I don't know, reboot, remake. Not really.
The
It's still in the
director did
same universe.
state it's a reboot, so it's
Okay,
not.
so
It's like a requel.
oh, perfect. Another new term. So I've been excited for it. You've been excited for it. Like you said, we didn't get that trailer until finally today it dropped, and I was very pleased with it.
Mhm.
We're gonna dive deeper into it here in a minute, but I think they got the tone perfect. Everything in this trailer, I'm saying, is a positive. I don't really see any negatives yet. I mean, it's only what, a 2-minute trailer, so it's a short little taste of what we're gonna get, but I have no reason to be concerned at all when they drop this movie on October 7th.
Yeah, they only give you 60 seconds in a YouTube short, but I was literally stumbling over myself because I wanted to talk about so much. So I am excited to rewatch this in crystal clear HD with everybody here and just be able to kind of take this all in and see what we can see.
Drink it in, sir.
Absolutely. So I'm going to pull this bad boy up for us real quick here. So we got that going. And yeah, I say without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's do it. I love this opening
Beautiful,
shot. I think this
isn't
is
it?
a perfect start.
It's really nice. You can hold it. What is it? It's a puzzle. And it's almost finished. Keep going. So if I solve it, do I get a prize? I do.
What's your deal? It has 6 sides, 6 configurations. It opens up and it cuts you. And then they come to collect.
It's time. Greater delights await. We wish to see you proceed. Feed it. their blood, their pain. All for us. What is it you pray for?
I really love so much of that. And like I know we didn't get to discuss much, but that's mostly on purpose. I just wanted to kind of take that one in. We'll go back through piece by piece here and kind of see each particular scene. But yeah, that is really, in my opinion, one of the best trailers I think I've seen in a while. Doesn't give away anything. Just really gives you a
Just gives you
nice
the
solid
feeling.
taste, the feeling. I mean, Jamie Clayton, like she is killing it with that voice. Like I hinted at that in my short, but I think that just like the way that, and I mean, like, not to get political, it doesn't have to be political, of course, but they are transgender. So it's one of those things where it's like that was a huge part of the source material, from what I understand, in the original book, The Hellbound Heart, is that there was no like designated gender
Yeah.
to Pinhead. So it's just like it's such a smart casting call, because like they literally just, like, I feel like in the voice you can just hear those pitches and tones. Like you can't make out any distinct, like, oh, this is a female's voice or this is a male's voice. Like the way they're portraying themselves, it's just so different, and it really adds to it.
Yeah, and obviously there's always going to be a comparison made to the Doug Bradley incarnation of
Mm,
Pinhead, and his voice in those films. I mean, so iconic, so different. It's kind of like that question of how are they going to approach this one for the new Pinhead? And I'll say like they made it very different, and I love it to hear that voice at the very beginning, kind of when it shifts into the Cenobites and kind of, I don't know, the realm of hell and everything like that.
hmm
I think that's one of the perfect. That's probably the most perfect audio piece that you can get in terms of kind of flipping the switch and kind of giving us that tone that we're waiting for.
I agree, and it's just one of those things where it's like the presence, the way they present it in that trailer, of just like she doesn't have a lot of dialogue. It's just a couple of quick lines, but like for the most part it's unsettling, and you can tell that the scenes that it's going to be in, or the scenes that it sounds like it's going to be in, that she's making her presence known,
Yeah,
and you can feel that. And I think that's like the biggest thing about this trailer that gets me excited is the feeling, just the aura, the everything. Like it just looks great, sounds great, and I think it's, I mean, David Bruckner. I mean, I got to get my hats off to the guy. I absolutely adore The Night House. I would say between Midnight Mass, Empty Man, and Night House last year, those were my three big favorite pieces of content. But like, I mean, The Night House was wonderful. I think it was beautifully shot, and it looks like he's just turning everything up to 11 for this one.
yeah,
They could have just shown us the money shots, but I mean, even in the more, less flashy stuff, like the introduction at the beginning showing the box and everything, like it's just looks so good. Like the
yeah.
color scheme, everything that they're choosing to do, it just looks top notch.
And you're talking about the trailer and kind of the feeling that it's giving you. I mean, it's no secret you watch anything that we reviewed. We've had a stellar few months of horror things. I mean, Black
Well,
Phone, Barbarian, Prey. I mean, like all this stuff. It looks great movies accompanied by great trailers, and it's like, but I'll say like those those trailers are they're not bad, but they're fun in a sense. They're interesting. Where I'm gonna say Hellraiser here is really the first trailer I would say probably this year, and in recent memory over the past couple years, that has given me that like sense of looming dread. And
yes.
I think that's what they encapsulate in this trailer, where it's like it's unique in that sense. Where looking at Hellraiser in general, the original version and everything, I've kind of put it on a different playing field than something like a Friday 13th, a Halloween, things like that, where those for me are like fun horror, where I've always found Hellraiser to be terrifying horror, and I don't know why. I think maybe it's the way that Pinhead is portrayed, where I know they kind of went out of the way to make it the character a little more formal, intelligent, and so for me that adds an element of scariness to it that I think I don't get with the other guys. And I think they were able to bring that to this trailer, where I legitimately feel a looming sense of dread throughout this entire thing. Like I'm afraid of what's to come. I'm excited to see the film. Don't get me wrong, but I think like what they're going to be showing us, I'm probably going to be on the edge of my seat, being like, oh gosh, what are they going to show us next?
I agree. I would say words that really come to mind, like you say, looming dread. I would say power, hopelessness also come to mind, because
Yes.
it just seems like the way that they orchestrate this trailer is really as the box opens, the world opens, and the Cenobites, their universe kind of slips in, and they're clearly showing you this is a place you do not want to end up,
Yes.
and they're doing a great job. I think there's a lot of great choices that they've done in this. So, real quick, now that we've kind of discussed this, I want to pull this back up here. Let's go. Let me see here. I'll go full screen layout so that way we can go little by little here. I turn the audio off so
Okay.
we can kind of just scroll through this together here, and we can kind of see. So I'll let it play, and as we pause,
Beautiful shot.
yeah, no, I love this. I like the reveal here.
Yes.
Again, am not huge in the lore of Hellraiser, so it is one of those things where I am not like sitting here saying, I know that this is a common thing. I have never seen the configuration box or whatever they call it,
The
the
lament
box.
configuration. Yeah.
Yeah, I have never seen it in this form. Is this
I
something from the past?
again, I have seen the first two, so anything beyond that, I don't know 100%. I've seen random things of them, but I've never like fully committed to the Hellraiser franchise. To my knowledge, as well, this is a new design. Like this is I guess you'd say, an expanded design where we haven't really seen that much from the lament configuration, like what we're seeing here. So I
Gotcha.
do believe this is kind of new and custom to this incarnation.
Yes. And like just the length of it, and really just getting into it, cuz like the thing for me, going back to like the original, which is the only one that I've seen, um aside from just like breakdowns and reviews and stuff over the years, is that th- this really feels more like a puzzle, as to where the first one, it was kind of like they only really twisted and turned it like two or three ways
Yeah,
in the original. So it's just one of those things where I was always like, okay, puzzle box, but you can only really do
do
so
so much
much
with
with
it.
it. Yeah, as to where this, you can clearly see that they are really letting you kind of twist this and form it, and it takes many different shapes in this trailer. Now I'm curious, do you have any thoughts on this place? If I can catch it.
I've assumed that is this not the rehab facility?
It might be. I know, because like the story, and another thing I want to say, I get, and you can tell me if I'm wrong here, I get a lot of Evil Dead 2013 vibes from this, just with the material we're going to be dealing with, where we're dealing with people who are recovering addicts,
Yeah,
and they're kind of getting sucked into this world and everything, and this doctor seems to be using them as bait
yeah, and I
to
think
open
I
this box.
I think maybe that's kind of the idea here is, I believe isn't he? I believe that there was a thing coming out. Maybe I don't know if it was a director or one of the writers had said that he is like a wealthy person that kind of is in charge here.
Hmm.
Which I guess could be something of, taking advantage of these recovering addicts in terms of trying to figure out for your own gain. I'm assuming that he's trying to figure out, I don't know, obviously, what he's doing, but I'm assuming he's trying to figure out the lament configuration in terms of almost solving each different puzzle. I would guess. I don't know. So that's what I'm kind of guessing here. But yeah, I understand what you're saying with the Evil Dead vibes. And I think that's a smart commentary. I think in terms of if they're going to go that route of if he is using these recovering addicts at this rehab facility. Again, I don't know, but it seems like it would be kind of a viable kind of concept to go with.
Absolutely. And there was you know, Pablo Cosmatos, I know, took a pass at a Hellraiser script. For those of you who don't know, that is the director of Mandy. So I do know that in my research here over the last few weeks of this topic. And I'm a big fan of David Bruckner. Like I said a few weeks ago on the Sunday Scaries, or maybe it was a Splattercast episode, or no, it was Sunday Scaries because we were discussing Hellraiser. I revisited The Ritual not too long ago, and I really think that movie shot up a few points in my book. And I think that and The Night House are fantastic, but to have like a Pablos Cosmatos interpretation of Hellraiser, oh my god, like I would just be head over heels with that. Just the visuals, his style, everything. Because you haven't seen Mandy, or you've only seen a
I
little
have
bit of
not
it.
seen Mandy. No,
Okay,
well, yeah. If we want to say a little bit, I mean, I've seen. I started it forever ago, and I mean, just started it maybe 5 minutes in. I think I got sidetracked with something. I started it and knew I didn't have time to commit to it, and I had heard so many rave reviews about it that I didn't want to not. I didn't want to break up my viewing of it, so I haven't went back to it, which is probably blasphemy from a lot of people that are
at
hearing this.
least
But
at least
I will
me.
watch Mandy.
I got to give you some shit because that is just like you give me shit about Child's Play. I'm rectifying that. We're gonna have to rectify
Listen,
Mandy for
listen.
you soon.
That was, I think, at the very beginning of Nick Cage's kind of renaissance, in a sense. So, I negated it at first. Yes, I will take some blame for not circling back and watching it, but I will get to it.
Alrighty, but to basically get back to my point here, because we're straying, is just to have his take on it. And his take, from what I understand, and I might do a longer video discussing that at some point down the road, is that the box itself was going to be a house.
Okay.
And there was going to be this whole thing about that being the puzzle box. And
Yes.
they were going to kind of use that, like these people trapped in a home, and they're kind of pushing things and moving things, and that's what they're doing, is they're figuring out the puzzle box and having the Cenobites and other demons and realms kind of torture them. And this, I don't necessarily know if that's what they're going for, because as you can see, the door, like they kind of play it up here in a sense where he switches this, and
And
it's
that
just it's a
opens. No, that
trailer. It's
makes
a
that.
trailer.
Yeah, yeah. So
So,
they could just, could be stylistically cut, I suppose, in a sense.
but then kind of going back to this place in general, it's got a lot of the same kind of, look at that. Like all the little cubes and everything. Like, it
Yeah,
would not surprise me if maybe this idea is kind of being interwoven, or
it's like
kind
a
of,
13 Ghosts.
sort of, yeah, it could be. And it's like they're like, this is all going to be interconnected into this like puzzle box like thing. But like, yeah, I just say that, like, the visuals, there's a lot to really chew on here. There's a lot to really kind of take in, and I would love that. I'd love to almost have this haunted house. After seeing Jeepers Creepers the other day is maybe the wrong way to go about it, but like, I love that idea of just having this inescapable hospital, rehab facility, house, whatever you want to call it, where everything is affected by this box.
And one of the things I kind of wanted to mention here was, I've only seen the first two Hellraisers. The first one's really the only one that I remember a lot about. But the lament configuration is always kind of. It seems like almost just a prop, a vehicle to get the Cenobites, to intertwine with our human characters. Just from this trailer alone, the lament configuration legitimately feels like a character almost because of
Yes.
how much emphasis they're putting on it. All this stuff that we're seeing here, everything, it's being so emphasized that it's not just the prop that someone is holding that the Cenobites are coming after anymore. This seems like a legitimate living thing. And I know like some of the jokes become, oh, Haddonfield feels like a character in itself or whatever. But like legitimately, the lament configuration feels like its own character here.
No, I agree, and I think that this, from what I understand, is kind of being touted as whoever this we want to call him a rich guy, a doctor, whatever he is, seems to be using these people to figure out what each configuration means, and all coming down to this one here called the Leviathan, in which once you get to that stage, it opens up some kind of a gateway to whatever the Leviathan is, and he will grant you a wish or grant you some kind of power or something. So that's kind of they're kind of opening these circles of hell in a sense. And I loved seeing this and pausing this when I first watched it too, to kind of see which each one means. And it's like this lament life, lore, aka knowledge, and love, and is that sensation?
Yes.
Resurrection, as in Lazarus, and then Leviathan, of course. So, I think that this is all really smart, and I agree with you that that's a great interpretation to it, where they're really making the lament configuration more of a character in this.
And that's where I'm curious to see where they're really going to go with this, because again, I've only seen the first two. And I don't know if it's ever been laid out like what we're seeing right here with the book, in terms of really deciphering certain things and where you can go with this. So I'm very intrigued to see what kind of aspect they're going to come for with this kind of lament configuration in this book.
No, I agree. So we'll kind of keep things moving here. Again, this another, I've never seen it do anything like that, where it's kind of that
I think
that
this is all new.
ball-like thing. Yeah, some of this is very new. But now we're going to start getting into seeing some of these Cenobites. Now, this is that new one that we got images of called Mask,
Yes.
from what I understand. So he is somebody we've never seen before.
Very unique kind of concept there as well.
Yes, he doesn't have any eyes or anything. Apparently, you can see right through him. So he is just walking skin, essentially, from what it's been described as me. And then, of course, we get a little redesign, but this is a classic character that everybody was hoping to see return. We're talking about the Chatterer here, one of my favorites from the original. Of course, I think that's pretty common amongst everybody. I thought that he's just so creepy.
Hey, you don't think that, because they kind of said this is a reboot, not necessarily negating the original Hellraiser, and I just, as you were saying, he's Mask is basically just walking skin. You don't think that's Frank?
Oh my God, maybe. That's I never even put that together, man.
I didn't until you were just saying.
You notice how like it's stretched, like when he had the hooks in his face?
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, maybe that could be.
Luke, you may have just cracked this whole thing open. I don't know. That would be awesome. That would be nice, because like you said, they're not negating anything that's come before this. Anything that they perceive as official canon. So that's awesome. But yeah, the other thing that I appreciate here is they've stepped away from the leather, and as you notice, this is all skin. All skin that's been pulled back, tapered back, everything. And I think it just works. I think it's a really great update.
I think it's a little more visceral. You know what I mean? Just the skin aspect of it, rather than, I mean, I've never had a problem with like the leather kind of bondage gear, but yeah, I do feel like, if you're stepping away a little bit from that original, do something a little bit different here. I think this is kind of the kind of takes you use here, where you tweak it to make it your own, but not jarring enough for original fans to hate anything. So I do like the addition more so of it's more skin based rather than the kind of bondage leather that we were used to in the original.
I agree. And just seeing these guys, and then here's our first official look, not official look, but I would say in action, in motion of our Pinhead here. Yes. I'm still obsessed. I'm so excited. I know, as I always say with these new horror properties, when's the NECA figure coming out?
Yes.
This would be excellent. I want to get my hands on the Doug Bradley one now that I've exposed myself to Hellraiser, and I can officially say that I'm a fan of it. I want to get that. but to have that and this side by side
Would be perfection.
would be wonderful. I mean, look at the detail in all of this and just how, you see, all the skin that's been peeled off and worked in to be like this design. It's still very similar to like the leather design that was
Yeah.
there, but it's all skin
You
based
know,
now.
and the funny thing is like just the details. Going into making the studio in that background picture that we do have of Jamie Clayton as Pinhead, I was messing with the coloring a little bit, and I decided to just go with the original photo. But it's like as you start messing with the coloring and kind of lightning photos and things like that, you really do see so much in depth kind of detail that is put into the Pinhead character. It's like, to be hidden in the shadows is one thing, but then to really shine the light. I'm very intrigued to see if we will get any kind of um, behind the scenes footage of where we're actually seeing, actually kind of detailing the special effects here, because there's so much that goes into that.
I wouldn't be surprised. I've seen a lot of stuff come up online about Prey since the movies come out. A
Yeah.
lot of behind the scenes stuff. So I think that Hulu will definitely release some stuff online for us to see some of the making of and behind the scenes. But we'll continue on here, going into now. This clearly must be a third act thing. What do you think is going on here? Is this because, if we go back, and I'm not going to skip all the way back to it. Where is it at? It's when she was flipping through the book. I know we're kind of
Going all over the place, but that's the beauty
yeah.
of the Splattercast podcast.
Oh yeah, we can do this. So why not? So you see how the Leviathan
Yeah.
like configuration is that, but then once we kind of come to that sequence, very much same kind of design there. I'm thinking it's pointed,
Yeah.
it's coming down. So maybe they do get to the Leviathan. I assume they do in the movie. Maybe this is it opening up and coming down to grant whatever that is, the wish or bestow power or whatever the gist of it is going to be.
Yeah.
So
I feel like very much that's where we're gonna get to here. Again, a great visual here. I have the highest hopes for these effects as well. Just as you pause it right here, I think that's just such a beautiful visual.
oh yeah, and I mean it's got to be stated they are still using a ton of practical. I mean stuff like this and what we saw previously, obviously are CG, but like the Cenobites and everything are practical
Yeah.
with maybe some slight CG enhancements. But again, going back to David Bruckner, the guy loves to shoot in camera and loves to he knows what horror fans are after. And I gotta give some love to my boys here because I'm working on a project involving these two. But Luke Petrowski and Ben Collins wrote this thing. They are the writers of The Night House. So this has been a passion project of theirs for years. I know they were going off on Twitter when this drops today, and they were talking about how long they've been waiting to see this come, and just the amount of love that they've been getting. It's always great to see screenwriters get some recognition and a pat on the back from fans, just saying, hey, we're here for you. We see what you're doing, because there's a lot of great ideas in this. I can just tell from the trailer.
Yeah, plus newer screenwriters as well. I mean, I think David S. Goyer was involved in some fashion as well, from what I think I saw. But it's like to have really new screenwriters kind of with a new take on things. And I mean, um, I've been looking at their stuff as well. So it's kind of like to know their kind of the ideas that they have and what they want to bring to these certain new franchises. I can only guess that this is going to be a very interesting kind of concept in film.
I understand. I feel you. I do. I assume this might be a band, but doesn't that kind of look like the symbol from Hereditary?
It does. Maybe
Look
it's
at
it's a
Interconnected.
multiverse. It's a multiverse.
Multiverse. The A24 multiverse. And see, even just the framing. Again, this is a classic. I would call this, and I'm going to get shit for this, a classic Ty West shot. Doors opening, and we're just presenting ourselves with a scene here.
Yeah.
But no, again, I think that everything, the beauty of it is that the simplicity and the color and how everything just works. I mean, you can tell that the color palette and design is all intentional here with your grays and your darks, and you're kind of this this almost yellowish gray that you're getting in the background, all very much in line with what's going on with Pinhead there. And I mean, I, as a film nerd, as a cinema lover, I always appreciate shit like this.
And, not to disregard any of the previous iterations and, extras, all the sequels and things like that, which I haven't really seen, just maybe some clips and things. No one sets out to make a bad film, but, and I'm sure there's quality in certain aspects of each of those films, whether it's a great film overall, or at least you can see glimmers of what could have been a great film. From this trailer alone, it just feels like a quality film. Like a lot of care in the tension that was built, the composition of the shots, the coloring, all this stuff. It really feels like, and I know this is just a trailer, but it
I
just
know.
feels like there's so much quality here.
We're shilling really hard today, but I mean, we've been looking forward to this. This is an
Yeah.
exciting day, and I fucking love this. I don't know
Wow.
what the hell this thing is, but that is creepy, and it's practical. It's nice. I enjoy this. When I saw this in the trailer initially, I was just like, holy crap, this is one of those things I wanted to bring up in my shorts, but again, in 60 seconds you can only say so much. So, but this was just one of those images that just really stuck with me.
Well,
And
something
I
was
love
brought
the
up in your
design.
shorts.
Oh,
Making-
yeah, absolutely. Gross son of a bitch. But yeah, no, I appreciate that. And even again, like we're going frame by frame here, but
And that's where it's just like in this trailer where I said this a looming sense of dread. Even like right here, you don't know what's in store for you next. So I don't know what the runtime. I don't think they released what the runtime is, but I would guess probably what, an hour 40 at least.
at
I
least
can't imagine the different horrors that they're gonna take us through in the full length film.
100%. And then like the box doing its thing again. Again, this is something that I've never seen it kind of extend itself like that. So I'm curious to see how this all kind of how this is all going to work and what they're going to use it for. Now here's your reference to Frank again,
Yes.
with him getting ripped apart. Some scale the cumulative weight of human cells, bladed hooks. I love reading through this too. Like
Yeah,
I
I
was
know.
pausing on my phone, trying to get as much as you can, rendering the flesh and muscles.
It's just very thorough.
You can't
To put
get
this
through
much
all of it.
to put this much detail into a book that you're only gonna probably see so many shots of, it just again feels quality and thorough.
100%. But this is very much that imagery, that same imagery from the first, with maybe a few more people back there, but the Cenobites, and then right at the end when Frank explodes. I
Yeah.
mean, this is that same energy. And Lord knows who the hell or what the hell this is. I don't know if it's a Cenobite because it looks like they are wearing clothing.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry guys. But yeah, I don't know, and I don't necessarily know if those two shots go together. But
It's
yeah,
just it's such a well put together trailer because you're asking so many questions.
And there's an even clearer shot of our Pinhead here. Just again, really smart design choice here, really changing it up, but still having a lot of that same things that we know and love of the character.
It feels different but the same, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And I'm excited to see Jamie
And
Clayton's performance. I think
and
through
again,
all the material, it's just really showing
just
the kind of range they're going to bring to it.
just the lighting here, where it's like
Mhm.
it's dark but light enough that you can see details. And again, it's quality. There is such a technique to be able to do something like that, to find that happy medium where she's just popping for a little bit here, just enough in the detail. Where again, this gets me excited for this.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I think that's going to basically bring us down here to the end. Again, we got another shot here. We see the detail in place here. I like this all. Like, again, I've said it so many times, but I love that, there is no clothing. It's all just shredded skin.
Yeah. And my only critique would be, and maybe it's just because of watching the Doug Bradley one where it's a little more, I don't know how to put it, rustic. I don't know if it's a CGI thing, maybe a little bit. It just her face looks a little too smooth for my liking. It doesn't take me out of it, but it's really my only critique here.
No, I gotcha. And then we get, of course, the chains and our title. So
In the audio of the chains, I mean, we didn't hear it here, but at the end, and I think there's some at the beginning, when the first character is almost being sacrificed. I love the rattling of the chains. I loved it in the original, and they bring it back in this trailer. I think it's
mhm.
again, it's a very effective kind of audio blurb.
No, I agree with you. I think it's very smart, very good use there. But yeah, I mean that's as thorough as I think we can get, guys. So that's everything that we can say. Obviously, we were, as I said, shilling for this. We're excited. This is exciting, and we've only got what, 2 weeks,
Yep.
2 weeks away for this bad boy. So like, I mean, this is definitely, we're going to be reviewing this, discussing this, breaking it down. Really just getting into those nitty gritty details for you of everything Hellraiser, as well as keep an eye on the channel here, folks, because there's definitely more Hellraiser content to come. Hint, hint. So there's a little something for you. But Luke, you got any closing thoughts on the trailer breakdown for us here?
I was already excited for this. We've covered it a few times on the Sunday Scaries, kind of dissecting every little tidbit they would give us. I mean, to get this trailer today is such a big payoff. We're getting so close to the release date. Like you said, if were we even going to get this, I would have been totally fine not getting it. I mean, this is going to be on Hulu. I already have a subscription to Hulu, so I mean, it's a bonus to get this trailer and get me even more excited, which this trailer did. One of the best, well put together trailers I've seen in recent times, and again, it encapsulates what Hellraiser is supposed to be. So gets me excited. I have no reason to believe that this is going to be a negative on my list of films I've seen throughout 2022. So overall, I think well done. Effects look great. Tone is perfect, spot on. I'm excited.
No, I agree with you. I'm right there too. But I will say this there's still a chance. I
Yeah.
don't think it will, but there's always that chance that this could be subpar or mediocre. But I mean, really, I just got to say, with the talent behind it, the people behind the scenes on this, I have nothing but confidence that this is at least, even if it's not the greatest, like this thing that we're basically touting it as right now through this, like if it's not the greatest thing to ever happen to horror ever, it's still going to be a competent film and it's still going to be enjoyable.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, there's always a chance. I have high hopes for it. So if they disappoint me, I will be suspending myself in chains on a future episode of the Sunday Scaries.
Well, they're gonna hold you to that, so
Perfect. I'd have it
make
no
sure.
other way.
You kinky bitch. Alrighty, guys. But that's going to wrap us up here for our trailer breakdown, reaction, whatever you want to call it, of Hellraiser. Yeah, real excited. This looks great. But like I said, there's a lot of Hellraiser content on the horizon for you guys here. So keep it right here on Splattercast if you want to come back and check that out. Of course, we are going to be doing a full review, spoilers and all, as well as a spoiler-free when this movie drops. And we'll get that to you as fast as we can. We already have the plan
Do
in the
the. We
bag.
have such sights to show you. Go on.
We
Do it.
have such sites to show you.
Good one.
As far as those sites, you can follow us on Twitter, where we like to keep the conversation going with all you guys. Always like keeping it up, talking about current news, especially on days like today when cool trailers drop. Every Twitter's always a poppin', and we get to go in there and just gush with you guys, as well as Instagram, where you can see all of our latest updates, out of the theater reactions, things of that nature, and just whatever we kind of feel like posting. So you can always follow us at SplattercastPod. We do have a goal in mind that is, I got to say, if you're a new subscriber to us, hello and thank you. Coming off that Jeepers Creepers video that really blew up for us. We have a goal to get to 100 subscribers before the end of October. As of this recording, we're at 90. So
Look at us.
thank you guys. That really shot up there. I mean, I think we'll get there before October. At this point, we're crossing our fingers.
Maybe
But
maybe you should thank the creators of Jeepers Creepers
I
Reborn.
really should. I mean, I beat the shit out of their movie, but God, like, thank you guys, because if you hadn't released that, I don't think we would have popped off as much as we did. But seriously, thank you for joining us here. You know, we're still up and coming. We're still learning. We're always taking criticisms, letting you know whatever we can do to make the channel better. And we're just hoping to keep bringing you guys fun, quality horror content. So thank you for subscribing. If you have not yet subscribed, please do consider it if you think we deserve it. And yeah, I guess that about wraps us up here. So until next time, I'm Dylan Newell.
And I'm Luke Janesco.
And remember, guys, stay scared.